Now you're kind of a staple in the indie hip hop movement of the early 2000s and the late 90s and actually the whole 2000 era. What would you say is your proudest moment of that entire era that went through?
Wow, my proudest moment. You know what? My proudest moment is probably the very beginning of it, because I first got on some of my most notable records were the Jigmaster stuff on Beyond Real, and that was my label, you know. We sold a lot of records, especially to Europe and Japan, Asia, and around that same time I was doing remixes for De La Soul and Das Effects.
Right.
So the major label artist thing was really full throttle around that time. And then as the 90s progressed, I got even more independent in the Raucous thing. I think Raucous is probably one of my most mentioned. Raucous and the Polyrhythmatics projects are probably like my most praised records. You know?
Now, well, let's not forget that you had 365, which is one of the best Eminem verses ever.
Yeah. You know what? And that's another thing too. I've worked with quite a few people very early in their career before they took off. Most, Talib, Eminem, Pharaoh. You know, I got to work with these people like, you know, when they were on the cusp of blowing up. So those are my proudest moments.
Absolutely.
Legends. These are legendary people.
Now, would you say that, like, I understand that, and especially coming from a retail perspective with hiphopsite.com and everything, and like, I understand that retail is totally changed and it's gone downhill and everything, and you know, we've moved out of retail, and I know that a lot of people from that generation, especially like the Fat Beats generation and people that made a lot of their money through those conduits, have just kind of thrown in the towel for indie hip-hop or underground hip-hop for that matter. Would you say that you have already made your contribution and you're ready to move on, or?
No. Hip-hop is a culture.
Yeah.
The independent movement really is the underground movement of hip-hop, and as long as there are artists, starving artists, people that are still true to the art form of MC and DJing, all of that, there's always going to be outlets for people to make the music. You know, the channels for which people receive the music is a lot different now. Like you said, the retail thing is dead. And we have to just roll with the punches and roll with technology and adapt. Yeah. Because we have to keep the music going, you know?
Yeah.
Right now, I'm seeing that a lot of people are trying to keep the vinyl movement alive.
Yep.
They're pressing up 45s, little specialty records, limited quantities, you know, 300, 500, 300, 500. I remember when it was 5,000, 10,000 copies of a record. But, you know, just little niche markets that you can tap into and keep your fan base growing. And like I said, you know, there's still people trying to make music, you know, new artists up and coming. I mean, a good example of a record that I really dug in the last couple of years was the Diamond District record. And, you know, to my knowledge, they threw something out for free as a download. Got everybody excited. It's like the reverse. It's like give it out for free and then you sell it.
Exactly.
Create the awareness, press up some records, and the people that really appreciate vinyl will actually go out and support the record. You know, you just press up just enough for that audience, and you know, you just keep it moving.